Sarah's voice was painful. When she said, "Mom, you have to decide." At that moment, I grabbed my suitcase and walked towards a door that had been locked for years. This is the story of a woman who recovers her identity through threats from her husband, court battles, and the fire inside her. I, Eleanor Reynolds, a 52-year-old woman, was standing at this point in her life where my own daughter, Sarah, gave me an ultimatum. You have to decide. Either you believe everything he says or you leave him. We can't see you like this anymore. Sarah's voice was angry, but there was also pain behind it. There was a strange intensity in her deep brown eyes, as if she had been waiting for this moment for years. I put my coffee mug on the table. Its warmth still felt in my palms. A small smile appeared on my face. It wasn't a happy smile. Neither did sadness. It was a strange sense of freedom. I picked up my old, dusty suitcase, which had been lying in the corner of the closet for years. This story begins in Westchester, a suburb of New York, where I spent 25 years of my life with my husband, Richard. Our house, a beautiful 2-story house, looked perfect on the outside. The white back fence, the greenery, and the garden of roses. But behind those walls, there was a place where my voice was heard. Richard was a successful banker, driving to Manhattan every day in his shiny black Mercedes. But at home, he was a selfish and controlling person. He wanted everything to go his way. Dinner is exactly at 7 p.m. The house is clean at all times, and I am ready to serve it at all times. If there was a little less salt in the food or a slight slouch on his shirt, his anger would turn to me. Nothing can happen to you. Her voice echoed in the house, and I silently caressed her. At first, I thought I loved it. When we met 27 years ago, Richard was a charming, confident man. He would laugh, tease me about his art classes, and say that one day my paintings would hang in the great museums. But after marriage, it changed. Or maybe that was him, and I had refused to see him. My daughter Sarah, who is now 24, and my son Ethan, 21, had both watched it for years. He knew that his mother was no longer the woman who would ever talk about her paintings and dreams. Sarah, in particular, was critical of everything her father said. "Mom, why are you doing this?" she asked repeatedly, but I've kept it quiet every time. "It's a wedding, Sarah. There has to be agreement." But hearing Sarah's ultimatum, something broke. Maybe it was my silence. His words shocked me. For years, I had put aside my dreams, my aspirations, and my identity. I picked up the suitcase and said, "Sarah, I'm going." He looked surprised but didn't say anything. Richard was in his office at the time, as always. I wrote a note. "Richard, I'm leaving. Take care of yourself." That's just it. No long explanation, no fight. I put the note on the kitchen table, where he drank his coffee every morning. I put my suitcase in the car and drove to Brooklyn, where my old friend Lily lived. Lily was an artist, independent, outspoken, and she was the only person I could have called. We both met in college, where we would spend all night making paintings and dreaming of conquering the world. But where I preferred marriage and children, Lily embraced her freedom. Her apartment was in an artistic neighborhood of Brooklyn, with colorful murals on the walls and cafes and art studios in the streets. When I got to her apartment, Lily opened the door and hugged me. "Eleanor, you've finally woken up." There was a strange joy in her voice, as if she had been waiting for this moment for years. That night, we held glasses of wine in hand, talking about my old paintings. I hadn't picked up a brush in years, but Lily insisted that I start again. "You still have the same fire inside you, Eleanor. Let him come out." The next day, Lily took me to her studio. It was a small, unkempt room where canvases, tubes of paint, and brushes were scattered all over. I picked up an empty canvas and stared at it. My fingers were tingling. Would I still be able to paint? But when I picked up the brush and applied the first color to the canvas, something magical happened. My paintings were a storm of anger, pain, and freedom. I put the fire inside of me on the canvas. In one painting, I showed a woman breaking the chains. In another, a bird flew out of the cage. With each stroke, I was finding myself again. Lily showed my paintings to Marcus, the owner of a local art gallery. Marx was an old, wrinkled man who looked intently at every painting from behind a lens. "They are powerful," he said. "There is a story in your paintings, Eleanor." Surprisingly, he chose 3 of my paintings for his next exhibition. When the first painting was sold, I couldn't believe it. $500, so much money that I could pay rent for a month. For the first time, I felt I was coming back to life. But it was only the beginning of the end. When Richard found out I was really gone, he called me. There was anger in his voice, but there was also a strange uneasiness beneath it. "What are you doing, Alan? How did you get the courage?" he cried. I replied calmly, "Richard, you thought I was your maid. Now I want to live my life." He threatened to ruin me financially, that he wouldn't give me a single pie. I hung up the phone, but my heart was pounding. Sarah and Ethan stayed in touch with me. They were both happy that I took this step, but Sarah was worried that Richard would do something. "Mom, he won't give in easily," she said. And she was good. One day, a courier gave me a legal notice. Richard had filed for divorce and was claiming the house, the car, and our joint accounts. He thought he would scare me, but it made me stronger. I consulted Lily, who introduced me to a friend of hers, Kate. Kate was a lawyer who was adept at failing men like Richard in court. Kate heard my story and said, "Eleanor, you sacrificed your life for this man. Now we're going to make him pay for it." We proved that I took care of the house and the kids for years, while Richard made his fortune. The court gave me half of the house and a good amount of money. But that wasn't my real victory. My victory was the freedom I created for myself. Over the next few months, my life changed. I rented a small apartment together with Lily. My paintings were not only selling now, but the demand for them was increasing. Marcus offered me a solo exhibition. "Eleanor, your story is touching people," she said. "Your paintings are not just colors, they are a revolution." During the preparation of the exhibition, I worked on new themes. One of my paintings, Breaking the Chains, showed a woman breaking the chains with her hands, with the sun setting behind her. The second painting, Flight, showed a bird breaking free from a cage. Each painting was a reflection of a moment in my life. On the night of the exhibition, as I stood among my paintings, Sarah and Ethan came up to me. Sarah said, "Mother, you have come back." He was proud of his voice. Ethan, who was always short-tempered, hugged me and said, "I knew you could." That night, Richard arrived. Maybe he came to see if I had failed. But when he saw me in the middle of his paintings, surrounded by people, there was a strange defeat in his eyes. He went quietly. "This is not my revenge story. This is the story of my life again." I not only got the clothes out of my suitcase, but also got my dreams, my power, and my identity back. Now, when I paint on my canvas, I know this is my life, and no one can take it away from me. Through my paintings, I not only found my voice again, but also inspired other women. After my exhibition, several women contacted me, sharing their stories. I started an art workshop where women put their emotions on the canvas. This has become a new purpose in my life. Sarah and Ethan are busy with their lives now, but they come to visit me every week. I've lost contact with Richard. I've started a new life, my own. My life is now on my terms.